not a tale of Bigfoot or a ghost in an abandoned mine. This is a story of extreme cold, isolation, and a psychological terror so deep it has been almost forgotten by the rest of the world. In the winter of 1978, the Alaskan interior was truly the last frontier. It was a place where distances were measured in days, and a home without a working generator could be a tomb. The nearest town to the remote homestead of Fairview was a 30-mile trek through blinding, sub-zero wilderness. The center of that tiny community was a man known simply as the cabin keeper. He was a quiet, unassuming older man who kept a remote cabin stocked for passing trappers and occasional travelers, offering a vital lifeline in the vast emptiness. But the cabin keeper had a secret. A young woman, a seasonal worker known only as Kathy, was traveling through the area. She needed a place to stay for a few days to wait out a storm before connecting with her party. She was directed to the cabin keeper's place. It was the last time anyone saw her. When Kathy failed to arrive at her destination, a small, informal search party was organized. They eventually reached the cabin keeper's small, snow-shrouded cabin. The keeper greeted them with a forced, uneasy hospitality. He said Kathy had been there but had departed abruptly days earlier, heading straight into the blizzard. The searchers were skeptical. No one sane walks into a whiteout. They searched the cabin, but found nothing, until one of the trappers noticed something unusual about the pantry. In remote Alaska, a pantry is often a separate, windowless closet built directly into the wall to keep food chilled. A natural icebox. The cabin keeper stood in the doorway, suddenly agitated, warning them not to touch anything. But the trapper was already moving a large sack of flour, sitting right in front of the pantry door. He pulled the door open, and the freezing air inside hit them. It was a perfect deep chiller, and pressed up against the back wall, neatly concealed under a blanket, was Kathy's remains. She was stiff and rigid from the sub-zero temperatures. But that was only the beginning of the horror. The police arrived days later and discovered that the cabin keeper hadn't just taken the life of his victim and stored her away. His cabin was a meticulously maintained graveyard. They found hidden compartments and crawl spaces containing the unchanging remains of several missing persons, some dating back years. The cabin keeper had spent years living in complete bone-jarring isolation, all while treating his home as a human storage facility. He wasn't a rampaging aggressor. He was a silent, meticulous curator of horror, living alongside his victims' remains. The case was so remote, so bizarre, and so quickly overshadowed by later, more sensational crimes, that the story of the icebox cabin remains one of Alaska's darkest and least known true nightmares. The man who turned the necessity of the Alaskan freezer into a tool for unimaginable terror.